Thank you and welcome to the show this morning. The topic this morning is the National Baptist Sunday School and Baptist Training Union Congress. And of course, we have with us to talk about this subject this morning, the Director of Publication and Christian Education with the R.H. Boyd Publishing Company, Dr. David Groves. And of course, Dr. Groves, let me welcome you to the show this morning.
It's good to be here, Dr. Haney.
Good. And Dr. Groves, to tell you how delighted we are to have you here. And we are reminded that the National Baptist Publishing Company is a very, very strong organization, Christian organization in Nashville, Tennessee. And we want to talk about that this morning, to talk about the influences of this organization, its leadership, and some of the things that are happening dealing with this organization at this particular time. But before we get into that, Dr. David Groves, let's talk about Dr. David Groves, to have you to give us some information about your background, your education, and some of the things that were important in your career and eventually leading you to the Director of Publication and Christian Education with the R.H. Boyd Publishing Company.
Okay. I'd first like to say that I am a native Nashvilleian, born and reared in North Nashville, and a graduate of Washington Junior High and Pearl High School. Those schooling events were very important in my life and in my history, quite particularly because one of my principals, Mr. Clancy Austin, and the other, Mr. J.C. Hull, was very important influences in my life. I am from a family of 16 brothers and sisters, and all at one time resided here in Nashville. I think I have about 2 brothers and 1 sister that is out of the city. But we were reared in the city off of Jefferson Street in North Nashville. So North Nashville is the place where I have roots. Upon graduating from high school, Pearl High School, I began my preaching ministry at the King Solomon Baptist Church under the pastoralship of the Reverend Dr. Morgan Babb. And Dr. Babb continues to be a great influence in the city with a combination of singing and preaching at King Solomon. I believe the church now is called Babb Memorial Baptist Church. Upon becoming ordained, I moved into went to military service, spent about 3 years in the United States Army, served as a chaplain's assistant, and after completing my tour of duty in the service, I enrolled in school. I felt a great need for higher education. So I enrolled in school in Knoxville at the University of Tennessee, where I went on to major in business administration and received a Bachelor of Business degree. But even then, the call of the Lord was very pressing on my life. So once I graduated from the University of Tennessee, I was called to become the pastor of the Mount Ararat Baptist Church on Fairfield Avenue, and remained pastor there for about 10 years. It was during my tour, during my time of pastorate at Mount Ararat, that I felt, again, a call to higher education. And I went on to the Southern Baptist Theological Seminary and enrolled in their Master of Divinity program. And upon graduating there, I went immediately into their Doctor of Ministry program and received my first doctorate. And a few years later, felt the need to go back to school and receive my PhD in preaching and theology from Southern Seminary in Louisville.
Very good. And of course, Dr. Groves, we're getting ready for our first commercial break, and then when we come back, we'll have you to give our audience some additional information in reference to some of the things perhaps you've been involved in, but more specifically to talk about the National Baptist Sunday School Publishing Board and the Sunday School Union and Congress. And I think that in doing so, that will give you an opportunity to not only talk about books themselves, but about some of the things that these books are doing for the lives and to the lives of other individuals. I think that if we could do that, then we could sort of end this show, this particular segment for today. But we've got about 20 minutes before, 20 seconds before our time is over during this particular segment, and I didn't wish to interrupt you earlier, but I wanted to make sure that when we get into that second segment that we'll be dealing with specifically some of these other things that we've talked about. We certainly appreciate the information you've given us, and we'll be back with our audience following this very, very short commercial break. We're talking to Dr.